And I'll say this. If you're going to be in an area where you don't trust or like the people that you serve, why the fuck are you there? So when I was growing up, you know, anytime you were doing a math problem or something like that, the teachers always made you show your work. It didn't matter how much confidence you had. You couldn't just put 17 down when the problem was 2 plus 2 and then not explain how the hell you even got there. And I don't know, maybe because I grew up with that, maybe that's why this case of Cyrus Carmack-Belton versus the Chows bothers so many people. And it's not because everybody agrees on what happened, because they don't. Really, it's because a lot of people don't understand how we got from point A to point B. This is Society Breakdown. Peace, 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 and blessings. What's good? This is your boy 7 Inglewood Zone right now in your zone. And this is another episode of Society Breakdown, where we do a little bit of analysis into the cultural diaspora. And today is no different, because today we're talking about the acquittal of Rick Chow in the killing of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton. Now, this was a crime that took place in Columbia, South Carolina in 2023, right? So Rick Chow and his family, they own a Shell gas station somewhere in a hood. It looked like it's somewhere in a hood, where they probably catered to primarily a black audience or primarily black demographic, right? The more that I kept looking into this case, the more that I kept coming back to one simple question. At what point was Cyrus the actual threat? I've seen the footage. I've seen a lot of the videos and commentary about it. I've seen reports. I haven't seen it established at any point where Cyrus was established as the threat. And for me, that's the entire case. So if you've seen any of the footage or know anything about the story, Cyrus was 14 years old, right? 14 years old, goes into a Shell gas station. He's accused of stealing water. He takes 4 bottles of water. Well, first of all, he comes in and he has a backpack. There's a lady who's standing there and she says, "Take your backpack off, no backpacks in the store." So he takes off his backpack, sets it wherever she tells him to set it, sets it down. Then he goes to the cooler and then he grabs 4 water bottles, 4 bottles of water, right? Takes 4 bottles of water. Then he takes 4 and he holds them for a second and he puts all 4 bottles of water back. Investigators looked into this, and that's exactly what took place. He didn't take any water. So for anybody who was thinking or saying that this boy took some water, he didn't take any water, right? But he was accused of stealing water. Now, mind you, he is under the surveillance this entire time by I would guess it's the mother of the family's, an older Asian woman, right? So she's watching him the entire time. She's looking at him peering from the one aisle over, right? Just watching him right behind him the whole time. So he just stands there. Maybe he thought or knew that she was watching him. And he said, "Okay, let me put this water back. They in here being weird." Who knows what the history was, right? Anyway, puts the water back, shakes out his hoodie as he's being accused of stealing something to show that he doesn't have anything. Then he grabs his bag and he leaves the store, seemingly in peace. Now, if you've seen the footage, you see that something, I don't know what it was, but something put a battery in Rick Chow's back, or Rick Chow's son's back, to the point that Rick Chow and his son chased him. Now, Cyrus was armed. Rick Chow was armed. Cyrus at no point pulled out his weapon or showed that he even had a weapon. And the weapon was only found after he was shot. And you can make of that what you want. But Cyrus was shot in the back, roughly 130 yards from the store. So the shooting took place. So the guy who was doing the shooting was about 130 yards from the store. Then trial. Rick Chow is acquitted. And that's it. Now, as far as facts go, nobody's arguing those facts. Where things seem to get a little bit murky is, to me, is the fact that the entire defense, the case for the defense exists between two basic events, right? You got a child, because he's 14 years old. He's a child. Stop acting like he's an adult. He's not an adult. He looks like a child. He's a child. As a matter of fact, when they talk about Mr. Chow and his son, the son looked like he's about 30, 40 years old. So, just saying. So, Mr. Chow and his son is a grown-ass man. Cyrus is a teenage boy. Anyway. So, in my opinion, the entire defense, right, exists between two events. You got a child who didn't steal anything, who leaves the store. And matter of fact, even if he did, that's a bottle of water. And I don't know, how much does a bottle of water cost?
How much does one bottle of water cost?
I'm not sure.
Okay, 98 cents sound about right?
Yes,
Let's
sir.
just round it up to $1. $1 sound right?
Yes, sir.
But he didn't. And investigators, who ain't got shit else to do but to find a nigga guilty, found that he actually didn't do the thing that he was accused of doing. But like I said, you've got the event of the child who goes in the store, leaves, didn't take anything. And then you've got another event where 130 yards later, he's getting shot in the back. Somewhere in that gap, we are told that Cyrus became the danger. Okay. Walk me through it. Walk me through it. Walk me through what exactly made him the danger. Because if you were walking through the video like I was walking through the video, you would see that as Cyrus is going into the store, again, takes off his stuff, lady's saying something to him, whatever. He goes to the cooler, pulls out the stuff, puts it all back, leaves. As a matter of fact, he looks like he's peaceful. He looks like he's leaving peacefully. He walks out of there. He didn't sprint out of there. He didn't look like somebody who had said anything, who had done anything. What was it that he could have done in the little time that he was there that all of a sudden got Mr. Chow and his son? And you see right here what they look like. You see what Mr. Chow, you see that they look like they got a battery in their back and they on charge. So, okay, what got them to that point? A bottle of water? A $1 bottle of water?
Think you took $1 worth of merchandise from your store?
I did think that, yes, sir.
And you were certain of it?
I believed he had taken it, yes, sir.
That's it. That he didn't steal. That he did not steal. Okay? Because from the multiple camera angles that we could see from that gas station, I don't know, things just get a little fuzzy because I'm looking at it from a lot of different angles, right? Okay. Why continue to pursue the guy who you consider a threat outside of the store, a football length's worth of space, for a bottle of water? Why are you doing this? So you had to chase this man 130 yards outside of your business. The threat is no longer there. The rest of the business is fine, but you must avenge this $1 bottle of water that you thought was stolen? I could have sworn somebody said a long time ago that the worst place for a black man to be is in a white man's imagination. I guess that matters for Asians as well. Some Asians. I'm not going to sit here and put it to all Asians, or not even all white people. But these Asians, it seems, absolutely. And so, okay, he's gone. He's the threat, right? So if he's the threat, so that would mean that somewhere in the split second between him getting his bag and walking out of the store, and the next 2 seconds where you see Mr. Chow and his son supercharged, that somehow I guess that means that was when Cyrus pulled out his weapon. I didn't see that. I didn't see him pull out any weapon. I never saw him pull out a weapon. Now, again, the weapon was found after the chase ended, right? So, again, like I said, you can make what you want of that and however that came about. But the fact is, something put a battery in these men's back to decide that they wanted to go hunting. And I guess it's cheap too, because it only costs $1 to go hunting for niggas. Go nigga hunting for $1. Yeah. Only $1 charge. You can shoot a nigga too. So, okay. Other questions. Now, again, I've looked into the story, reports, and a lot of the background on this. And I'm just wondering, why was an armed man chasing a child over water in the first place? Like, okay, have you had a rash of these incidents occurring and you were just this was the last straw? Is that what it was? What was it that made you say, this is the time, let's go? I mean, because it didn't look like, from the video, it didn't look like anybody had to go and get weaponry. It looked like you already had weaponry. So if you already have weaponry, well, shit, you halfway there. Why didn't you just get him at the door then? If you were so threatened, why didn't you just get him at the door? Get him right there. But you had to chase him down? The kid looked like he was running for his life. I mean, just in the little bit of video that I was able to see, because obviously I didn't see the actual incident, thank goodness. But I didn't get to see the actual incident take place. But I did see Mr. Chow and his son running across the parking lot in pursuit of this young man. Other questions, right? Okay. And a few of the reports, they say that Cyrus allegedly aimed his gun at Mr. Chow's son. Again, the 30, 40-year-old looking dude. So he aimed his weapon apparently at Mr. Chow's son, and that was enough. And he's leaving. He's already left. Even if he did wave a gun at you, he's already left. I'm just saying. So they saying that at some point he upped on him. Like, was he running? And then like turned around and did something like that? Was he? I'm trying to figure out exactly, like, how did this occur? Did he just stop and pull out because there was a report that he fell. So when he fell, did he pull it out then? Like, when did he? And even at that point, it's like, okay, here's just the way I'm looking at it, right? At no point, at least from the video footage and the body language that I'm seeing, at no point does Cyrus look like he's being confrontational. At no point does he look like he's being the aggressor. I have no idea what actually took place. We don't know what happened prior to this video footage, so I don't know. Maybe they had a prior engagement, a prior relationship, or altercation or something like that. Bad blood, and it spilled over like this. I don't know, but I'm just saying, from the video, that's why you got Mr. Chow. That's why you got 17, 18 cameras around. It ain't that many, but that's why you got so many cameras around your place, right? News reports say that Mr. Chow was in a shooting stance, like, doing the whole, pointing. He was pointing and aiming thing, right?
He tripped and he's coming back up.
All right, so I'm positioning myself again. So we're in here.
Yes, he was on his way back up. Mr. Chow was already like this.
Okay. Did you see Cyrus Carmack-Belton turn around at any point?
No.
But how far apart were they? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how far apart were they when the shots rang out? Was he right up on him? Because again, Cyrus fell. So if Cyrus fell, like, did Mr. Chow get up on him and then do the shooting thing? Or not exactly sure at what the sequence of events is, nor the the logistics between where Mr. Chow was, who was at about 130 yards from the store at the time, but how far Cyrus was from Mr. Chow, I don't know. I don't know that part, right? And then you got the witnesses, right? None of whom have said that they saw Cyrus pull out a weapon. They did see Mr. Chow with the gun. They did see that. Definitely saw that. Saw him in the shooting stance and all that stuff, right? But I just want to know why it is that the witnesses and their testimony was not strong enough to go against the fact that nobody saw Cyrus with a gun. I mean, hell, even the prosecution closed by saying something like, and, you know, don't quote me on this, but he said something like, no one has claimed Cyrus aimed a weapon that isn't named Chow. Meaning with all the other people around who were there, it's a gas station. There was a lot of activity at the time. Nobody has claimed that Cyrus aimed a weapon that isn't named Chow. And speaking of the trial, I mean, hell, let's get into it. Why was the jury like given murder? Or like all they were given was murder and acquittal. Like that's it. Guilty, not guilty. Murder. That's it. That was the only one. There was no lesser charge, no second degree, third degree, no manslaughter, nothing like that. So I don't know. I just think all of these are questions that people naturally ask when they're trying to understand the outcomes that don't make no fucking sense. And what I mean by that is like, look, most people can't accept an outcome that they don't like. What people struggle with is some shit that they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And that's where this case is. Because a lot of folks ain't sitting here saying, like, I refuse to accept the verdict. They sitting there saying, I don't understand how the fuck we got here. Those are two different things. To the point where now, because things don't make no fucking sense, you have the cops trying to protect the Commonwealth, which is what the cops are to do. When they say they serve and protect, they serve and protect the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is not you. It's the businesses and property owners in the city and town wherein you live. And the cops were there trying to protect the gas station. Best they could. Best they could. But lo and behold, what happened? What happened? And here's the thing. I'm not sitting here saying or acting like I'm an advocate for any sort of violence or any sort of damage or any of the stuff that took place with regard to this store or, you know, anything like that. This worldwide. I'm not one of those sort of advocates, right? But I'm always going to be a person who understands when things get to a tipping point. And if people are to a tipping point where they feel like no one's listening to them, the stuff that you're giving me doesn't make any fucking sense, and I'm just supposed to accept it, when I can see, when you tell me what justice looks like and I see it look one way when other people are involved. However, when it's me involved, for some reason, that thing called justice just seems to keep on flying right on by. So, I mean, that's what happens. That's what happens when you are continually given a narrative or told to understand some shit that don't make no fucking sense. And I'll say this. I think this case hits different because it feels familiar, right? Not necessarily because it's like identical to any sort of other incident or anything like that. What I'm saying is that many of us, a lot of us, already experienced situations where the explanation that they were given didn't seem as strong as a conclusion. You know what I'm saying? So that's why people keep pulling on the damn thread trying to figure out, well, what is this? Well, what is this? Well, hold on. Well, why is it? Well, hold on. Huh? How? What? And I'm still trying to figure out how it took 3 damn years to even get to this point. But I digress. But yeah, you got to keep pulling on that thread, not because of the verdict itself, but because the story feels unfinished. And so, you know, the more I look at this, the more I come back to this same question. Please, can somebody tell me, at what point did Cyrus become the threat? When was he the aggressor? At what point did he point, aim? When did that happen? Who saw it? Do we have anybody to corroborate anything that was said by the Chows with the exception of the Chow family? And I'm not sitting here saying like, hey, they're lying. But we got a lot of people who ain't even related to Cyrus who are sitting there saying, I didn't see what they saying they said. But I did see it a different way. However, somehow the Chows, in their testimony, carry much more weight. I don't know how. I guess we'll have to wait to see if there are any future transcripts to come out to let us know the answers to some of those questions. Because this thing is up in the air, if you ask me. And I mean, when things are up in the air, like I said, that's why you're going to have people destroying property. And I'll say this. If you're going to be in an area where you don't trust or like the people that you serve, why the fuck are you there? Take that shit on to the neighborhood of the people that whose dick you want to suck. Go there. You don't have to come to the hood and then talk shit about the people that's in the hood who you serve. You don't have to be there. Sell the property. I'm sure a black man would love to take that property if he can get the business loan, as long as he can get approved, as long as his paperwork is in order. That's another story for another day. On both sides, the black man as well as the bank. But I digress. We'll just have to wait and see, because as it is right now, transcripts haven't been released to let us see what's been actually said in the entirety of the court case. But I don't know what could have been said. I mean, again, maybe there's some evidence and information that's out there that I just haven't been privy to that will say, yeah, okay, no, they were justified in shooting this kid over the dollar bottle of water that they thought he took, that he didn't take, because, oh, well, now he made a threat. It's like that was a convenient, and that's another thing, like that transition, I don't know if, now, see, I don't know if this was all, split second. I don't know, who knows how the thinking and all that came around, but I'm just saying, it kind of feels like that was a convenient reasoning. Oh, well, I had to shoot him. He threatened me. Yeah, I had to. He threatened me. Duh. I had to shoot him because he threatened me. Next question. But I don't know. I'll leave it right there and I'll ask you, at what point, please, at what point did Cyrus become the threat in that exchange, in that full exchange? You could watch it again, roll it back, flip it and reverse it, just like Dr. Bryant said.
For the folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give a fuck what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that shit.
I'm just saying, if you can figure out where he was the actual threat, then maybe you can actually tell me if the explanation that you've heard so far makes any sense to you. Drop your thoughts down in those comments. And after you hit the like, share, subscribe, and all that good humana on this one, make sure that you send your boy any videos, clips, or any other information that you want me to react to at societybreaksdown@gmail.com. But until next time, I have been your boy 7. Please take care of yourself and others, but be dangerous as you do. Peace. And I'm out.